there is a new Chinese sex bot with integrated AI. Whoa.
Wait.
It looks really real.
So when you squeeze different areas, it moans.
Oh my God.
I was like, just hire an actress from the U.S. Hire a porn actress for the U.S. Just
you can go on Fiverr
By the way,
and get a great voice for about like $30.
The end of that video just said, "Serving mankind." That's how they ended the video.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Diggnation.
Also potentially hazardous to your health.
All right, moving on. Why do you have flies in your freaking house? I noticed this earlier.
It's Southern California and I have fruit.
You put zombie and you put ear in the title, and I don't want to do it. Diggnation.com. Hello, friends and family. Welcome to Diggnation episode number 9. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Alex Albrecht. Diggnation, of course, covers some of the hottest news stories all over the interworlds, as they're called. Nobody calls them that.
Nope.
We are going to start Cyberspace. We are coming to you from a makeshift, it's actually my mother-in-law's ADU. Mm-hmm. So, super sexy.
It is very nice.
It is very nice.
Laundry within arm's reach.
Yep.
A fridge.
Fridge within the arm's reach. A mouth within arm's reach. A bathroom within arm's reach. Everything's within arm's reach.
My white toe shoes. You know, I did not mean to wear these wide toe shoes today.
I thought they looked very science fiction.
They are horrible.
They're not horrible.
They're my workout shoes, and I had them, and then I came here, and then you commented on them, and I realized they're going to be on the camera.
My favorite.
Although, how's your fucking foot fetish site going?
My foot fetish site. Oh,
you have a OnlyFans for your feet.
Signups. Thousands of signups?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
We have.
You're making like $100,000 a year.
Yeah, we have a sign up, and it's my mom. I'm like, Mom, you just.
You don't look like. So did anyone sign up at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How much is it? Are you banking this?
Totally rad shoe.
Oh my God! OnlyFans totally rad shoe. That is genius. By the way, first off, we're gonna get into all the craziness that's been going on in and around Los Angeles.
Yes.
In and around ourselves, mostly Kevin. But also, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
I cannot
Year.
believe it's been a full year.
It feels like a full year.
It feels like a full year.
First episode back.
First episode back. We are also recording mid-January, or not mid-January, but late January. So it is currently still dry January. Congratulations to you, sir.
I want to see, well, first of all, cheers.
Yeah.
I will say before we get into the chaos, Deschutes was my hometown beer up in Portland.
I'll get
And so I'm well versed in the world of Deschutes. It's some of my favorite beer, Mere Pond.
Yeah.
Their squeezy IPA, fresh squeezed IPA is fantastic. Is this a fresh squeeze? Yeah, this is a fresh squeeze, but this is non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
And so this is good.
It's rare, right?
Non-alcoholic beers have gotten so much better.
So this is
Athletic Brewing is
Athletic Brewing, and it's really interesting. I heard this interview that was about yeast.
Yes.
But it's going to make sense. Because essentially what happens is the way they do non-alcoholic beer, the way they used to do non-alcoholic beer when it was like, O'Doul's,
yes.
You know what I mean, was they would basically brew beer and then boil it and let the alcohol evaporate and then recarbonated it and try their best to recarbonate it and then package it, and it tastes like ass.
Horrible.
Because they basically, you're boiling the beer, you're boiling off a lot of the stuff and a lot of the like hops and all the flavors. What they do now is they actually use a yeast that doesn't turn sugars into alcohol and carbonation or CO2. They have a yeast that turns it into like not methane, but something. It digests the sugars the way we digest sugars. So it does the same fermentation process, but it doesn't generate any ethanol or any alcohol. And then what they do is...
This does not sound good for your gut. Like, is this going to fuck you?
No, it's actually good. So they did a study. No.
Yeast.
So check this out. They did a study where they had people drink one beer a day to see if it helped with their gut biome. Half of the people drank a single alcohol beer, and half of the people drank a single non-alcoholic beer.
With this yeast.
And the benefit in the gut biome was the same and very beneficial to your gut biome of having a single beer, but
spot.
You just
The health,
Push.
but the
You
health
said
benefits.
it's the same. The benefit was the same and very beneficial.
It's all beneficial.
Wait, so all of it, like any beer I drink, is going to be good for my gut?
Correct.
That's not true.
No. Alcohol beer or non-alcoholic beer. However, alcoholic beer then also has negative impacts on your health outside of your gut biome.
I see.
So they were just studying the probiotic nature of beer, and they were saying, does new non-alcoholic beer have the same beneficial probiotic results as regular beer? And the answer is yes.
Sponsored by Budweiser.
Sponsored by Budweiser.
Exactly. Dude,
All of that is to say, hey, beer.
have you ever you've had so much beer where it jacks up your stomach, right?
My stomach's never been.
You've never been beer
issue.
sensitive? Mal, have you ever had issues with beer?
Oh, I can't I can't do beer anymore. I love these. Beer
Interesting.
fucks me up.
Yeah, fucks me up too.
Well, but think about it. When we were kids, when we were
kids drinking
when we
beer.
were at an alcohol-approved age,
Yeah.
and also dumb and young.
Yeah.
I drank so much fucking beer. I mean, Diggnation was
Founded on beer.
literally founded on beer.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it was so funny because I remember the first episode, I just happened to get a case of Corona.
Oh, was that our first episode?
Yeah, and I was just
Yeah.
like, hey, I just got a case of Corona. You want to have some beers while we do this? And you're like, yeah, all right. Cut to the
Alcoholics.
doing it at breweries.
Yeah.
Did we never brew our own? We never brewed our own beer, did we?
Didn't we have a little pony keg of something? There was something we did. No, Prager did some shit. I don't remember. We didn't ever brew our own beer.
I brewed one I did a show called The Half Hour Happy Hour with Allison and Alex, and we went to Stone during Comic-Con and we brewed our own beer, and it was really good.
Yeah, not one of those ones you get at not room and board, but the.
No, we went to Stone down in San Diego.
Oh, Stone's great.
And we had a whole vat to ourselves.
Wait, is that in San Diego?
Yeah, Stone's in San Diego.
Jesus, I love San Diego and Stone.
We should go.
Yeah, I know. Stone's great.
I love Stone. We could do a show there, like lickety splickety.
Dude, I would do that in a heartbeat. We should
Anyway.
talk about your adventure, though. So
My adventure.
before we
Don't bury the
Before we get, okay. What's my adventure?
your adventure is that you're alcohol free.
I mean, it's just dry January. I do it every January.
But how hard is it?
So I think we talked about this on the show. I went 2 summers ago. I did 4 months of no drinking.
That's impressive. But
Yeah.
you have to go through some detox. You don't get anything like the bends or anything.
The bends. I mean, no, I wasn't in a small submarine and then immediately, and then accidentally came up too fast.
No, it's not the bends.
I just
What do they
stopped
call it? What do
drinking.
they call it? They call it. There's a thing for it. The
bends?
The delirious tremors and shit.
No, I'm not waking up
a
with
good beer.
delirious tremors. That would be amazing.
Yeah, delirious tremors.
The
Cold
first,
sweats.
withdrawal.
The first,
Withdrawals.
Yeah, the first night is always a little hard to go to sleep the first night. No, it is because you're
but I know
up
it.
and you're like I'm just awake.
No, but I know. I
brain's
love
not
that what
doing
you just recommend. What you just suggested was that you don't ever stop drinking because you're like, that time when you take a day off.
Oh,
that first night when you're not having a drink.
So yes, that is true. No, that's always been my biggest issue is like every time I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna not drink on the weekdays or like I'm gonna go every other week. By the time 5:30 rolls around and you're like, I mean, what's
5:30 's
one
the worst
extra
hour.
day?
6 o'clock is even worse.
I know, but then also my wife also enjoyed, by the way, my wife went like 3 days in dry January and is now just still doing just regular January.
Right.
But it hasn't been hard this time around. I don't know why. It just seemed a little bit more like this would be a good idea. And then I had gone like a couple days, like 6 days. I know it just sounds like it's so funny hearing me talk about it. Like, I went a whole 6 days without any alcohol. Can you imagine?
I just got used to it.
Yeah,
It felt better.
I mean, the one thing I'll say is usually when I do dry January, it's hard, especially with like Heather having like, oh, I'm gonna have some Jack or whatever. This time it has not been. It's just been like, all right.
Yeah.
And then I got myself equipped. And we're also doing like, we're remodeling our kitchen, so we like can't go in the front of our house, so we're sort of like sequestered in the back of the house. So it also
hurdles.
everything's off
You
off
can
anyway. So
glass
it feels
traps
like,
and mouse traps for yourself.
Yeah.
Leading up to the fridge.
Just put my hand. In.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Dry January.
Yeah. I mean,
But what about you?
Well, so it's funny because I did this like kind of blowout fun party in SF, holiday party with some friends, and I had a few drinks, and I remember just waking up the next morning and just being like, I'm like, it's, you know, when you get to the point where you're just like so saturated and you're like, December was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And it was funny because a weird thing happened where I was like, I'm just actually not going to wait till January.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to kind of like take these last couple weeks as kind of like super easy, like the last week and a half.
Because the last time I saw you in your place, you were like, oh yeah, I haven't had something to drink in like 10 days.
Yeah,
7 days or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And so I started then, and then, you know, it's the same kind of situation where the first week and a half, you're just kind of like, oh, you could have a drink here and there. And I would say that, you know, I haven't been, in January, I've had probably 2.5 drinks total.
Oh, all right.
And then that's not, I mean, I had like a glass of wine one night, and that's kind of it. And I just realized that like, it's this new chapter and this new kind of like going forward, I want it to be about those special moments. Those like really like Diggnation will be those moments for me where we get together a couple times a month, we go out, we have a couple drinks, you know, maybe we have a drink with dinner afterwards, and it's like, that was fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny, I was talking to my doctor about this, and he's like, dude, he hit me up and he's like, just so you know, like, I love a good cocktail.
Yeah.
He's like, you just had to pick your battles as you get to this age. He's like,
yeah.
your liver enzymes are not as slow as we'd like them to be.
Yeah.
There's just like a few things where it's like, it turns out when you're in your like mid to late 40s, like you gotta start paying a little bit more attention to this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I've been doing really well. Like I've been meditating more than I ever have like in a long time. And I'm like really laser focused on that. And that's been a good, I've been saving that for my like nighttime activity kind of to unwind. And dude, I bought a face fucker, which is amazing.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
No, this is like,
Is it called a face fucker?
it is the nickname for it.
Ah.
But what it is, my buddy
from
Ryan
the
Vance
Alien-
got it to me.
the Alien
Dude,
movie?
I want to show you something. I should have fucking brought it.
What?
It's so good. It is amazing.
If you have something called a face fucker, always bring it.
The alien creature.
No, yes, it's like the alien creature. It's done by Therabody. You know the Theragun people?
Yeah, I love them.
Okay, so dude, I'm telling you, my buddy got me this. It was actually at that party in SF because we do this like
White Elephant?
secret, yeah, exactly, secret Santa shit. And there's this device that they came out with, and it is, and he gifted to me. It's called Smart Goggles, and it's like a lot of people call it the face fucker. It's like they're kind of like, and I was like, what is this thing? And he said, dude, trust me. He's like, everyone I know loves this. Has a heart rate sensor built into
massage.
it. You put your AirPods in, and then it has all these relaxing things. And dude, I was like, he gifted me and I never heard of it, right?
Yeah.
And you look at that and you're like, okay, this is probably one of those things that like sharper image type shit.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, is it gonna
Sky Mall.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my god. But then I saw it was done by Theragun, and I'm like, well, they make good shit, you know?
Yeah, we like Theragun.
And so I got one. Well, I got it, and it was like I put it on one night. And the first thing it does, dude, is it clamps down on your fucking face.
I don't know if I would like this.
No, yeah, you might not. It is a little claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I'm spitting all over you.
That's right. It's all right. We're excited.
So
Your face is getting fucked. I get it.
So, but then it just like squeezes your temples and it starts like pushing in really hard on your temples.
Oh.
And then it starts massaging your nose, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then this heat comes on. It has this heat built into it.
Oh,
and
you
it starts
should have
massaging
brought it.
and heating your face.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
it is so relaxing. It is
How long do the sessions go?
You can get anywhere from like 6 minutes to 25.
Okay,
And
that's a
then-
lot of face fucking.
But it really clamps down on you. Like in a
Doesn't that hurt? Doesn't
it does a little bit, but it's kind of awesome. It
does a little bit.
It's kind of awesome. And so I have gifted these to a couple people. I got to get you one. And I
Dude, if you want to get me a face
what
fucker.
is it? What did you set that little
know,
device
it was
there?
so
He set like a little
sneaky.
device that's like, what does that thing do?
It's transcribing. Really.
Oh, it's transcribing. Are you serious? Oh, amazing.
Oh my
Hello,
God.
friend.
Hello.
There's new little AI thing sitting over there. I don't like it.
I don't even.
So
It's all of a sudden it's scary.
it's not cheap. It's $199, but dude, I gotta tell you, so it does your before heart rate And then when you look at your phone afterwards, I always drop by at least 10 beats.
Oh, wow.
During my session.
My heart rate runs high.
What's high for you?
Well, I told you I had this thing where like my watch would be like, hey, you're watching TV and your heart rate just hit 120 beats per minute. My resting,
with that?
I don't know.
Normal.
It's all right. I'm fine.
I mean, it's scary a little bit.
Nah, it's okay because I've been to the doctor and like they checked did a bunch of like heart rate stuff. And
Did they make you run on a treadmill and shit?
No, I haven't done a stress test, but I also like work out 3 days a week.
Yeah,
so it's like,
you should stress test it. Have you had your ApoB looked at and all that shit?
oh yeah, we forgot about the APB. I didn't put anything out on my drug tests. We'll have to put an APB out later. But that's fucking. That's cool.
It's really one of my favorite devices that I didn't know that I needed.
Are you going to then, you think, kind of roll a little bit in past January then?
Yeah.
Just kind of like.
Yeah.
Adjust
I think this is like the new norm.
Relationship.
Yeah, I think I need to.
Dude, that's great.
And I think what it is it's going to be about having those special moments with friends, and it can be once a week, and it's like where you go out and have a couple drinks and like. But just knowing like, hey, maybe 2's enough and maybe I have a couple glasses of water between them if I'm going to have that third and just like getting really tactical about that shit, That's
the thing is I always have these ideas. It's a little bit like, what is it? The plans, what's the battle plans quote? Like,
oh, it's don't let good be the enemy of perfection.
Don't let perfection be the enemy of the good. I think,
yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
No. That wasn't at all what I was thinking, but we'll take it. No, but the whole thing is for me, it's always like I'm like, okay, I'll do 2 glasses, right, of wine. So then I go to dinner and I'm having a glass of wine and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll have my 2 glasses. And then I get home and it's like, first off, I'm old. Heather and I eat like old people. Like we eat at like
TV dinners
5:30.
Oh yeah, I do that. Everybody does
it's
that.
the best. Not everybody.
I like eating. Well,
Not young people.
I have kids and shit. They eat early, so yeah.
But but it's crazy because I'll go and then I get home and it's like 7:30 and we're not going to bed until 11. We're starting to watch our stories. I want to have more wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the problem is that it's really untenable for me to be like, I'm going to just have a couple glasses of wine because by the time it's like evening, and then God forbid I do Jack because and that's a whole other thing.
You know what it is though? It's like for me, if I can say, because you're right, it's that 5:30 time that rolls around.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, now is when it's like the Pavlovian dog situation where like, you start to make the dog food and the dog salivates, just the sound of it, right?
Yep.
And it's like the hour hits and you're salivating and like, oh, this is my de-stress moment.
Yeah.
If you can get through that dinner and then say, hey, now I'm allowed to have that glass of wine with the show.
Interesting.
That's a fun little strategy to just punt it.
Yeah.
And then you have your 2 glasses, you've watched your show, you've had a great time, you've de-stressed, you've relaxed a little bit, then you're done.
Yeah, that actually is a really smart thing because it has not been hard going out to dinner and just having sparkling water or whatever. It's like it has not been a real hardship tour. The thing that's interesting, and I do want to talk about all the crazy shit that's been going on in your life, buddy. But I will say one of the New Year's resolutions, we're getting our kitchen redone, and so we're, like I said, we're sequestered, but also we have no ability to cook food, so we're only really either going out to eat or ordering in.
Yeah.
And
it makes it tough. That's the world I'm in right now. Every single night, because I'm living in a hotel right now.
Yeah, so it's like, what else
going
are you
out
do?
to eat and eating in? Yeah.
So one of the things that Heather and I have sort of said, our new Year's resolution is going to be no takeout or delivery
for
2025.
The whole year?
Wow. Yep.
Dude, no fucking way you're doing that.
100%, dude, because we have a new kitchen.
Let's put some money on that.
I'm in, because we have a new kitchen, right? And so the whole thing is, we're either going out to eat,
dude,
or we're cooking.
Have you seen Poly Market? Do you know about that?
Polywana Market?
No, Poly Market. It's like a predictions market. So the All In podcast is doing, who we love, good folks.
Yeah.
They are doing when they talk about a prediction, they launch it on Poly Market and they get people to bet and take one side or the other, the different things.
Amazing.
Yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this.
Oh, well, first off, yes, I'm in. Secondly, that'll make me. Do I get a cut if I succeed, or is it just Poly Market? It's just people can bet on it.
Well, so they have their own dedicated section here. I'll talk to Jason.
Yeah. Find out about it.
Figure out how we can get involved in this.
But then also, I will only do it if we can find one for you to do as well.
What do you mean for me to do?
Like, I'm happy to put my put my money where my mouth is.
Well, I am.
Poly market bet, but I want to know you got to pick something that you're gonna do in 2025.
Oh no, I'm just saying like anytime we come up with something. Remember like 7 years ago, you were like, I'm like, there's gonna come up with the Apple TV, a physical TV, and you're like, no fucking way.
Oh right.
We could have put that on Polymarket
and
then
have
them like, yeah, exactly.
Because I won that.
You
Still
did
winning.
It's gonna
Still
happen.
winning.
It's gonna happen. Okay, so my crazy news.
Yes, Jesus.
So this is insane. Oh God. Okay, so I was at a top secret meeting that will be announced more at our live event. Live Diggnation is still happening, people.
Yep, baby. I almost called everybody bitches, but in a good way.
Listen.
Come on, bitches.
You can say that now.
Get your tickets.
Everything's loud. Everything's loud. Nothing's on the table anymore. So this is the deal. We're like 87% sold out or something.
Yeah.
All the VIP is sold out, but we do have some. I mean, I would argue in some way the non-VIP tickets are even better because you're like closer to the stage. It has its own bar. It has bathrooms. Everything's really nice. This whole soup to nuts of the event is going to be awesome.
And we're not going anywhere. That is what we're going to be doing.
We're not going there.
No. No, I mean, it's not like we're going to do the show and fuck off to like some,
we might.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I promise. Polymark that.
Oh, shit.
Or whatever it's called.
So it says few tickets left. Look at it. It's got a little tag there added automatically.
Hurry up.
So Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Saturday, March 8th.
Correct.
7 to 11 p.m.
Boom.
Doors open at 6 o'clock. It's 18 plus. You don't have to, buy a drink or whatever, but the tickets come with a free drink. It can be non-alcoholic or alcoholic. I will actually be consuming alcohol during that show.
I will as well.
And it's going to be awesome. We have Mixmaster Mike, the Beastie Boys DJ, is confirmed.
It's gonna be great.
He's going to be playing a set after Diggnation. Tim Ferriss is going to be up there on stage. Chris Saka, who is insanely well-known.
Saka's going to be there. By the way, that was a great post that you did.
Oh, with his shirt that he sent me? Yeah.
So great.
People know him from Shark Tank. He's an old homie. He's an awesome dude. He's going to be there. I've got a couple other surprise guests that are going to come on stage. Just some people that it's going to be fun to hang out with. You guys are going to have, because this isn't about just like, oh, look at that crazy celebrity person on stage. They're going to be wandering around saying hi to folks. Not that we need to see celebrities, but they're more celebrities like tech celebrity fun people that are coming out. So it's going to be chill. It's going to be fun. And we're going to have a blast. We're going to be throwing out some swag bags to people in the audience. We've got some pretty big announcements that are related to stuff.
So you were in a secret meeting.
I was in a secret meeting.
Bring it back to the
in
story.
Santa Monica. Okay, so anyway, get your tickets. Go to diggnation.show. At the top header, just lock them in. And then if it says sold out by the time you get this, one of the things that I talked to Maggie, who's running the event, she says, listen, there's a little bit of extra capacity. We could open up another 100 tickets, but I didn't want to because I was like, you know what? Let's not make this a sardine fest. Let's make it so you have a little bit of room for everybody. Yeah. Like the bathroom line's not like 30 people long. Screw all that. Like we want this to be a fun experience. Less is more in some sense, but at the same time, some people are going to be peeling off at different times for different events. It's South by. It's crazy. We'll have a line also for free people if you want to, if you missed out. But I mean, the ticket's only $20.
That's great.
But if you missed out and you're like, hey, I want to get in still. I'm coming a little bit late.
Love it.
But I just want to catch, Tim or Mixmaster, or I want to come halfway through Diggnation because I couldn't make it or whatever. Don't feel like you just come show up, stand in line, and we'll get you in as people circle out. So
love it.
It's going to be fun.
Get your rooms now. They're selling out.
What's that?
Get your rooms now.
Oh, get your
selling
rooms.
out.
Oh, on the Eventbrite page, which is linked to on that website I said, which will be in the show notes, we have several hotel options. So for people who are saying hey, it might be too expensive for me, here's the cool thing. Obviously, Southwest tickets to get out there is dirt cheap still.
Yep.
There are rooms going from $500 plus, which is super nice, fancy shit, down to we found and we booked in some group rates. And Maggie's really good at this, where she gets hotels that are $250 a night, and she'll get them down. It will say, hey, we'll commit.
Does that say $179 a night?
$139 a night for this one here.
Holy
which
shit.
is only 6 miles from the venue, and she's only picking cute little boutique hotels.
Dude,
so it's not
she's awesome. I got to meet her.
But it's not like you're staying in the Best Western or whatever,
Yeah, we did.
Although one is the Holiday Inn airport.
But hey, man, you'll be there.
Hey, you're gonna do that.
You'll be there. Hey, you're gonna be there.
There's vending machines outside.
Maybe it's cute.
It's gonna be cute. So it's gonna be fun though, you guys. Just come out, hang with us.
My folks
have
will
a
be
drink
there.
with us. My kids will be there. And
Your kids are gonna be there.
well, they are. They're gonna see me first time on stage.
They're gonna be at the show.
Yeah, dude. Freaking 7 and 5.
Oh boy.
And they'll have little ear things in. I mean, they may not stay for the whole thing. I'll have a nanny there. And
Are the ear things? Do they have like ChatGPT filtering out any profanity?
we cuss around our kids.
Oh yeah, bring
We
it
just say
on.
we say grown-up words. Like Nova said something the other day. Like she said something that was like a shit show or something. Or there was something where it was like, you know, they just don't know what is a cuss word.
Got it.
And then I was like, first of all, that's the worst kind of show. And second, you shouldn't say that word. But like, you know, like there's certain things and they're like, oh, I got it. That's grown up.
Yeah.
And so like that's how we handle it. Because like, come on.
You're gonna hear a lot of grown-up words.
Exactly.
At
She's
the
gonna
show.
go back to the back catalog of Diggnation. And she's gonna be like, oh,
Daddy, what's
Dad
railing
is a
someone?
bro.
Good Lord. No, just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Yeah. So
Back catalog is nothing.
back catalog means nothing.
Yeah.
Although I had some fun.
Okay.
Okay. What happened?
Yes.
I'm driving back from that super secret meeting. I see all this smoke like coming from a general part of where I live.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, that's not good. And all these cars are pulling over and taking photos because it's kind of overlooking that area.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, LA hilly like that.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go down. I'm just gonna pull over for a second. I look and I was like, oh shit, like that's like, you know, I don't know, maybe like a mile away from where I live up in the hills. I saw this like some helicopters coming. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe let's dump some water on and we'll be done,
Yeah,
you know? And then I looked up and I saw some of the palm trees. They were just like, ooh, because the wind.
It's windy. Like
And I'm like,
crazy.
oh fuck. And so I called Daria and I'm like, do you know what's going on? She's like, no, I'm just like chilling downstairs at the house. I'm like, go on the roof and like see what you can see. And she's like, oh my God, like this is massive. And so I'm like, okay, I'm heading to grab the kids because the kids at school was nearby.
Yeah.
And so I just like fly as fast as I can. I get up there, grab the kids. They're already starting to evacuate kids. Throw the kids in the car. And I didn't want to go back to the house because I thought to myself, like, I had the kids in the car.
Yeah.
And I had the SUV, and no offense to my wife, she's been in a car accident like 3 times in the last 6 months. I love her to pieces, but
Things were safe. Let's just say.
I was just saying that driving, it's like if she had the kids and like, there was like a yard to go over. I'm gonna go over the yard and like bust through and like da-doom, you know, and like she'd be like, should I make a right? And I'm like, that's not.
So if you had gone home, she would have taken the kids and then you would have taken the stuff?
She should have taken the kids and just headed out.
Got it.
And then I should have, she had toaster in the car, and I should have gone back to the house and got shit.
And gotcha. Yeah.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
And then we went to a hotel just like literally like 2 miles away. And we're like, oh, I'll just grab a room because this will probably be over in like 6 hours. And we'll just like go back to our house.
Yeah.
And then it was like clear, like a few, like even like an hour later, I was like, ooh, this bitch is spreading, you know? And then weird stuff started happening because I had the Ubiquity cameras and I started seeing like just like ash, you know? And I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. Like ash is coming. And then my indoor house air purification little guys, I have these little Miele air purifiers, which are pretty awesome. They're not that expensive. They're actually really cheap compared to a lot of the competitors out there. And they like spiked, like indoor air quality, like boom, like to the roof.
Wow.
And then Wi-Fi and power went out, right?
Oof.
I'm like, okay, shit. All right, well, what do we have there? And Daria grabbed a few things. I had this little tiny micro safe, and I was like, grab some stuff there. She like didn't think we were gonna like, so she just grabbed a handful of things, like basically like.
Yeah, she had said on the phone that she didn't even take her purse.
No, she didn't take her purse. She lost her ID.
It's crazy.
She lost her wedding ring, and then you know a couple days go by and we still don't know because they were like, oh, the fires is like spread all over the area.
I was watching the map the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kept going like 2 blocks away. I was like, that's fucking Kevin's house.
Yeah, well, they had the red line like right next to my house.
Like 2 blocks away from it.
And then I was like,
for a long time.
For a long time because they didn't update it for like 24 hours.
I think he's good. He might be good.
And then there was like update. And it was like red.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh Jesus, you know. And so you know, it's I still Glenn, hippie Glenn, who gives me. I was like, which friend of mine is going to be the craziest? And I'm like, Glenn. And so I called Glenn up, and I'm like, dude, do you want to do like a Rambo mission with me, and like break some laws and like find out if my house is still there?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, of course I'm
Glenn's like, sure.
Yeah, he goes, oh, you told me later he's on some shit. He's like, I'm sorry I didn't show up yesterday. I was like microdosing. So I'm like, I didn't even notice. Like, it was typical Glenn,
Yeah.
But like, we basically like knocked on doors and nobody would answer. So we were like, okay, well, they're abandoned. So we're going to cut through their backyard and hop fences because there were always these perimeter checks.
Yeah.
And this was after the fire had kind of gone through, like call it like 3 days later.
Yeah.
And but there was still smoking embers everywhere.
Ugh.
And I have some footage I haven't sent out. I'll send it to you so you can throw some stuff in there because it was kind of nuts. And so Glenn and I get pretty close, but we're still like 2 miles away. And he brought his drone with him. And I'm like, okay, we don't want to fly drones high enough to like interfere with any of the like aircraft and shit. But they weren't really dumping water there because it was already kind of passed through.
Yeah.
But they had put this block so no drones could fly.
Oh, interesting.
So they can shut down DJI, and so he couldn't get it. And he had a hack to get around it because there's like firmware shit you can do to like get around those like things. Yeah. But he had to get cell service to enable the hack, and we didn't have cell phone service because the cell phone towers were burnt up around there and all that shit. So anyway, long story short, we ended up cutting through this back forest area, and we were like pulling on rope vines because it's kind of up on a hill. Yeah. So I'm like climbing the side of this thing, and like I had to be like, dude, don't step on that ember there, it's smoking. And we're like going through, and eventually we popped up over the side, and I swear to you, it was like an A-bomb had gone off. Jesus. Like it was like just flat. And then all there was like chimneys. And I'm like, okay, shit, well.
You're like, mine's in there somewhere.
Well, my house was like only 3 years old, so I was like, okay, well, maybe because I know that like when I bought it from the builder, they're like, well, the cool thing about this house is like, it has these things where when like the air intake ducts have this special material now in new modern homes where they put out embers.
Yeah, so because that's what they said, it was getting into the attic.
Exactly, and so it would put out embers. And so I was like, well, maybe there's a chance because like 1 in like 30 homes up there were like kind of standing.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find the house at first because all of the streets were just like flat. So you don't have street signs. And I'm like, which street was it? Because it's like kind of hard. It's very disorienting to know where you live when
no
you
landmarks
don't
are there.
see anything that you recognize. And so eventually I was like, oh, I'm 1 block over. And then I saw my wall, which looked perfect. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I walked up to the gate and I opened up the gate and it was just a crater. A crater.
Dude, I saw the video on Instagram. It was bonkers.
Oh, dude, I can't even tell you. I mean, obviously I didn't record the moment when I walked up to it because the thing that hit me more than anything else that was the toughest was mostly nothing about the stuff that you think people that have money matters. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some good Heartland Estate up there that was like, there was some good wine in that cellar.
I thought about that.
There's a good wine.
Me as the wine connoisseur was like, the wine.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I could have gotten
God, so much drinking.
But it was like, honestly, the things that hit me most were the first Father's Day cards that my kids have given me. They wrote their names all messed up and stuff. My dad since passed away, as you know. And there was a jewelry box that he had made me when I was younger just to hold some of my stuff. And there was a kid's little desk that I had handed down to my kids that he made from scratch, this really cool kind of folding and morphing desk because he was a woodworker. And he loved doing that stuff. And then you remember those things every few days. Of like stuff that you're like, oh shit. Like the other day I was like, oh, I would have been aging, and this sounds silly, but I had been aging a pu'er tea collection and coffee collection for 15 years now. And this was tea that Tim and I gathered in the Yunnan province of China together, where we took a bus like for several days to get out there and then hand picked it, you know? And it's like, as it ages, it gets better. And it's like, you know, that's not expensive stuff, but it's stuff that means something to you, you know? And so it was nothing about the laptops or the, you know, all the other stuff. Actually, that felt very freeing in a way. I was like, it's funny because like I literally bought this shirt at Target, and it was like, I realized like, I don't need any of this stuff. None of this the expensive stuff makes you happy.
Yeah.
It's like the little things, like just I had made a cross stitch duck for my dad when I was like 8, and I always meant to put it in his casket. And at one point I was like, because he loved it, you know.
Yeah.
And at one point I was like, I'm gonna bring this back to his tombstone and like leave it there at some point. And like that went up in flames, you know. And there's all those little things we were just like, oh, those were so meaningful to me. In the garage, we had some letters from the 1800s that had been written to my great-grandma that were just like very historic. We had one family book that was like, had gone back talking about family origins, where some of my family had come from like, you know, Germany and England, and like, you know, some of those kind of things that were pretty interesting to like, I would have loved to have like eventually dumped that into ChatGPT and learned a lot more about my lineage. And that, all that stuff is just gone. And so there's like a very like great forcing function around the lesson of impermanence on everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very aligned with like Buddhist philosophies and a lot of the Zen meditation that I subscribe to. And I was able, thankfully, in some weird way, to feel both sad by the loss of these very important sentimental things, but also very light on my feet, and that I didn't have I don't need this luxury. I went too far.
Interesting.
You know, and you know me, I'm not driving Lambos and shit. I had a Tesla and a freaking BMW standard family SUV. But like, I did go too far. Like I just bought a lot of shit that is just like unnecessary now. So when I'm thinking about rebuilding my life, I'm very much going back to like, how can I get back to the essentials and not just like take it to that degree that I did before.
That's so, it's really interesting because you don't think, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right?
Oh my God, there's a mental burden on all these little tiny micro things that you own.
And you don't even know it. You wouldn't even know it because they're so minute that no specific one is sort of a burden enough for you to even recognize it exists. But in total, it can become this weird thing where you're like, what is this feeling that I have about shit?
Dude, I had this this camera lens for a Leica camera, which all my Leica cameras went up, which was only like 3 of them, but I mean, that's still a lot of Leica cameras. But I had this one lens that I bought for $1,000 in Japan 15 years ago or whatever. And now it became really sought after. And it's like, because it's old vintage, like this badass, like super good bokeh, like just a really cool classic look. And it went up to $4,000 because they only made 100 of them. And on eBay, it was like $4,000. I was like, oh, I gotta sell this shit, you know? So I took like photos of it and like blah, blah, blah. And I listed it, and then some scammer like won it and then never paid me. And I'm like, fuck hell. And then I relisted it and something similar kind of happened. The guy was like, whoa, can you take 3 after he bought it? I'm like, fuck this, like, it's so hard to sell anything, you know? And I was like, oh God. And like, but it's 1,000 little things where you're like, now that I have so much shit, if I even ever wanted to downsize, that's like a year-long process to get rid of all that shit.
You're literally trying to get rid of one piece of pie, and they were like, no, keep it. And you're like, but I really don't want it.
I know, but it's like, but then the second thing that hit me, which was really bizarre, was not bizarre, but just like it meant something, which was when this was all happening, I realized I didn't have a laptop. And also, then a few hours later, another part of LA caught on fire. You know, and that neighborhood was a lot less affluent.
Yeah, that's the Altadena fire.
Yeah, and they didn't have a whole lot of money.
Or the Eaton fire.
Yeah, the Eaton fire. And I was watching the TV of those people, and I was just like, I literally walked into an Apple store the same day my house burned down, and I bought a new Air. And I was like, how fucking lucky am I to be able to do that? And I'm watching people on the TV that don't even know where they're going to sleep that night.
We have friends that have set up like GoFundMes and stuff like that, and we're sending them stuff. Like because we're redoing our kitchen, we got rid of a bunch of shit because, like you, how much shit did you put in the back of the cabinet over your fridge 15, 20 years ago that you haven't fucking seen? And then when you pull everything out, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what even is this? So we're donating a bunch of the stuff that we are getting rid of. And even stuff that we wouldn't have gotten rid of, but we're like, dude, somebody else can take this. Because it's totally true. Like you're in a very fortunate situation where you can replace most of the things that are just replaceable with cash.
Yes.
But it's the stuff that's not replaceable that is going to be the stuff that really... Did you have a thing where like periodically stuff would pop up? Because it happened to me.
Oh, all the time.
For you. Like there were times when I'd just be sitting there and be like, oh, fuck. Like I was thinking of the Bruce Lee, the fucking
Bruce Lee business card. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of those.
Like it just hit me where I was like, fuck his... Because
I had
Bruce Lee,
here's
one white, one black.
Here's the worst.
Yeah.
X-Men #1, burned.
Oh my God, I was just thinking about that too.
Michael Jordan rookie card,
yes,
burned.
the shit you showed me after the
the original Spider-Man first appearance of him burned. All of my first X-Men, or my first Wolverines burned. I just had those in a drawer. And I was just like, I mean, don't get me wrong. This was like a CGC 1.7 on the Spider-Man.
Still.
It was $3,000.
Yeah.
And it was just like gone. But like at the same time, dude, back to that the people across the other side of LA, it's like, fuck all of that.
Yeah.
It's just money. And it's like, and I know that sounds like a very luxurious thing to say, but like, honestly, if my kids are okay.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people sending us stuff in the mail. Thank you, Sarah. You know who you are. She hooked us up with a bunch of like, she had a bunch of stuff that she wasn't using anymore, and she sent to us like furniture-wise and a bunch of other stuff that she was just going to sell anyway.
Oh, great.
And some of it didn't fit into our temporary thing that we're going to get into, and because it's small, and she was like, hey, just donate it to anybody in the area.
Yeah.
And we've already donated some of that stuff that didn't make it into our stuff, and so I've been taking and redonating a bunch of that stuff, but like, I don't know, man. It's like, it reboots your whole thinking on what's important.
That's so interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it also should act as a warning to anybody that's in an area that could even potentially, because Palisades was not something on my list of fire danger. You know what I mean? Even in Los Angeles, even though it has happened in the past in the 70s. There's a big Malibu fire that wiped out, almost all the PCH. But it really does go to show, like, you should have a thought of what it is you want to take. Like, those things that are going to be the things that are going to be important.
So I've got 3 takeaways that I think are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
One is, don't count on fireproof safes at your house, especially those cheap ones, because ours melted and we lost everything inside that fireproof safe.
Yeah, which was funny when you told me that, because I was like, we have a fireproof safe. And I was like, going to walk away and be like, safe's fine. It was like, that's not what they're for.
No, they can stay on like an hour, but if it's like intense like that, they just won't. The second thing is, like, obviously take pictures of all the important stuff, like your kids' stuff, things like that. Then I was locked out of Coinbase, and they were asking for hardware keys, which I didn't have. Oof. And so what I did is I found this, which is actually kind of interesting.
Your old wallet?
My old wallet. This is a FIDO2 key that can be used for any two-factor auth. So you know how you have hardware keys that you touch with your finger, like on the side?
Yeah.
I have those too, but this one here in particular is an NFC-based one. So if you got a new phone... So don't think of it as like plugging into the side of your computer.
Like it's a
but you what you do is like say, okay, I'm on like I just did this morning. I'm on Apple I have the two-factor auth security key stuff on Apple.
Yep.
Because I'm super paranoid, and I turn it on, and I have my little USB-C hardware keys that stick in my thing. But if I ever lost those again, it's boom, and I'm auth in, and this sits in my wallet, right? And even if I lose my wallet, no one's gonna know my password or any of the other shit, so they're not gonna get in.
Yeah.
But it's just like an extra thing to have that you all most likely have on your person if you're just running out of the house.
Yeah, wow.
And so if you have hardware keys, something like this, I think I just got this on Amazon. It's called Cryptnox FIDO key, and I think it's like $50 or whatever. But it's just like a good thing to have if you do hardware-based keys. That was a good one. And then there was one that was really interesting. Let's see, I got the picture of the stuff, the hardware keys. I think... Those are the insurance policy stuff's a whole nother thing. That's a shit show.
Dude, we talked about it on the fucking show that you went like a week without fucking house insurance for that house.
Yeah, then we finally I got upgraded to a better plan, thankfully. But here's the other thing, dude. All my crypto keys are in a safety deposit box, and it was next to my house.
Oh no!
And so, but they were punched into like steel and shit. I still haven't been able to get back into them, but. I heard the bank didn't burn down, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is in times like that, you almost want your keys like at least 50 miles away,
Yeah.
not near your home.
No, we talk. I mean, honestly, they talk about like the redundancy when it comes to things like that. It's like second location, but second location doesn't mean your neighbor's house. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like second location is far enough away that a natural disaster can't affect both places.
Exactly.
Oh
So
my
that was one
God.
thing where I was like, oh, interesting. Like I have to rethink that. It just makes you rethink. Oh, and then the other thing too is like, I was like, okay, well, what if I had not had a way to get back into my iPhone? Like if I left my iPhone or something.
Yeah.
And then I had those 2-factor keys set up. And and so I'm like, okay, well, what about photo backup? Because that's the most important thing is those family photos and stuff you've taken. And so I basically put on Google Advanced Protection on a new Gmail account that's hidden, not used for normal email.
Yeah.
And then say Google Photos, go ahead and back up all my iPhone photos.
Yeah,
Just to have
smart.
the kid photos redundancy.
Yeah.
It just makes you think about redundancy in completely different ways. But anyway, it's been nuts.
Fucking
nuts.
hell. Well, I'm glad you guys are okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Sorry that all that stuff went up in smoke, but it also sounds like your head's in a good place. I sent you a picture of my kitchen because it was like, where are we going to shoot Diggnation? Your house? And I was like, well, and I sent the picture of my wall missing. And you literally, Kevin, it was like 2 weeks after your house went up, and you're like, looks like my house. And I was like, too soon, Kevin. Too soon.
Well, here's the deal, man. It's like, it's someone that grew up. I guess it really depends on what your expectations and comfort is for like just life in general. Like when I was 14 ish, my dad had to go through bankruptcy. We lost one of our cars. We didn't really. When I was younger than that, and he was having a hard time finding work, we had our Thanksgiving dinner delivered by the church one year. And like when you have that as your starting point, and everything has been gravy ever since,
Yeah.
And so like for me, I'm just like I could sleep on this couch tonight and be totally chill.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, as long as I have my fucking Apple, like it's like I need some.
I got my brand new Apple iPad.
A couple things, So just a couple things.
Look, we're not assholes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's,
creature comforts.
the latest iPhone, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Just the necessities.
yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like
totally.
that is I think that's if you just come back to that, you're in a pretty good place. My wife.
Different? How's she doing?
She had some handbags she liked, But
Well, you can buy the handbags.
she's getting there. They never give you the replacement cost for all the stuff on the insurance stuff. and all
Dude,
that.
I don't even want to know how
It's me in spreadsheets going through and being like, okay, that was a Christmas gift that got burned. Boom, send over. And it's just like a lot of piecemeal kind of stuff. And they want proof of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so one of the things that they had said, so we had friends that were evacuated from the Eaton fire in Altadena, and they actually came and stayed with us on Wednesday through Saturday. And their house is fine, thankfully.
That's good.
But they were going
When
through
the fire's out, you don't think you have knock on wood at this point.
Well, I mean, I don't know when the
that's a
next
good
one's
point.
gonna pop. There was one that just fucking popped in.
Oh, I saw that.
in,
Jesus. Okay, yeah, good.
By fucking Magic Mountain. Anyway, but one of the things that they had said on the news was they were like, when you're going to leave your house, just take a video of every room. Just walk in and take a video of every room.
I did that.
Yes.
A step more. Put it in slow motion so it does a high frame rate.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because as you're going through, there's a lot of blur.
Oh, interesting.
High frame rate and just go wide angle and just walk through everything.
Yeah, because you can basically just go, here is me leaving. Here's that piece of art.
Yeah.
Guarantee it was in the house, but this
Yeah.
is me walking out the door.
Yeah.
Here's that couch, here's that whatever.
Yeah.
Open all the cabinets.
Open all the drawers, all the cabinets, all the clothes, because it'll only take you, 20, 30 minutes to walk through your house and just open everything.
You know what? My dad used to do that with like camera photos back in the day, and then he would know what camera stash of photos to take with him. But like, if you think about it, you could just walk around your house and do that. Put a reminder once a quarter.
Yeah,
Just to go and do that, even just once a year, whatever.
Oh, why not?
And just
Export his images. Tell ChatGPT to log everything.
yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell, dude.
Well, what's funny is I had all of my new podcast gear kind of like positioned outside of the podcast room,
Yeah.
And I had taken a picture because Reid Hoffman was the last guest, and thankfully we got that footage off of the cameras and out.
drives.
Gabby took it with her, so we'll release one more episode from that house soon. But like in the photo Reid and I took together, you can see all the gear in the rack mount behind it. I'm like, fuck yeah! It's like another thing to be able to submit is like proof that I actually had it.
God.
But yeah, it's insane, dude. And my heart goes out to all those that were impacted by this, because I know it's not lost on me for sure that, like, you know, just the fact that we could get a hotel room that night and just not worry
Honestly,
about it. Like, it's a huge gift. But and Toaster's stoked. Fucking dude, no, he's stoked because the kids are now eating from this little tiny table on the ground. He's already stolen like so much fucking eggs and pancakes and shit, dude.
Toaster's like, this is fucking great, man. The house is so big, I barely wanted to go downstairs. Like, this is fucking rad.
Mr. 14-year-old Toast, he's lost all sense of like what's like. He's like, I'm just gonna steal shit from here. Like, He's in looting mode. He's like,
I gotta get as much as I can while I'm here, bitches.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
All right.
Well, congratulations for being here and making it
I'm
through.
glad to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while. Obviously, sorry that it took us a while to get this most recent episode up for reasons.
Yes.
As it were. But let's get into the show now that we've done a full show.
Yeah. Okay. We've done a full show.
Episode 10. Here we go.
So this was, obviously in January, CES huge.
Right, which of course we would have been talking about all this crazy CES stuff, and we have a couple things to talk about at CES.
I think a couple things worth mentioning, CES wise. One for me, I'm always looking at the stuff and I'm like, okay, new doorknob shit that can unlock doors, and like there's always that bigger TV, it's like
I fucking always want a bigger TV.
Yeah, I know, but that's like most of the stuff is like that. Oh, deeper color blacks and all that. You're like, okay,
deeper color blacks.
Well, that's what they do.
Pretty soon you're like, I can't even see those blacks.
Exactly. So basically, exactly.
Keep going.
Social. So basically, the one thing where I was like, this is fucking cool, was the new Lenovo laptops that expand out and go.
You told me about these.
Yes. So here is a video of the new Lenovo laptops that I think is one of the coolest things. I've never wanted to like move away from a MacBook till I saw this.
So
it grows.
Dude,
it's
that
like a
is
laptop
amazing.
that can like get excited.
First off, so is it rolled up?
So it's rolled up inside, and then why is that guy putting his hand out? Oh, it's reading his hand.
Oh, he is. He's going like this.
Oh, now he's moving it up with his hand. I mean, you can just hit a button to go up. Why do you have to hold your hand and get it scanned and shit to roll it up?
Because you can't. Because Windows stuff, they always add those little
Look at that
features. Dude, it just keeps going. It's like Willy Wonka.
It's like up to half his face. I mean, don't use your hand again, dude.
Yeah, there's literally got to be
praying to it.
It is time. Yeah,
he's like Obi-Wan Kenobi that shit.
So actually, the first is the obvious feature is we have this flexible panel. And
this is the first obvious feature.
It's giant. Well, first off, it's hysterical because it's like twice the size, and I can just imagine accidentally just closing it, and its fucking lip is hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. So you may have noticed my laptop.
Well, it's funny because
large.
this PC that I have here. Oh, it's dusty in here. Nobody comes in here because nobody stays here. But anyway, it's so old. It's like, I mean, it's really slow to even do Diggnation, which is literally 4 tabs.
Click on the Apple thing. What do you got going on under the hood? At this Mac. Okay, Big Sur. You're on fucking Big Sur, dude.
Bro, I use it for this show. That's it.
You're on Big Sur?
Is that good?
No, that's like OS like 10 years ago.
OS 10 years ago.
Processor.
2.3.
Oh, he's on
Intel i5.
Oh, Jesus. He's on a Celeron and shit.
M3.
I'm not on a Celeron. It's a Pentium.
It's basically a
fucker.
Celeron.
Well, anyway, this is done.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade you. We're going to do sponsors soon.
Oh, maybe Lenovo will sponsor with the...
Dude, I want one of these.
I would totally have one of those. I just burped and it was really disgusting. I
Okay,
apologize.
just keep it that way.
Yeah.
So this is the first time where I've been like, dude, I might move to this computer because I need a little bit more real estate.
So it's interesting because I noticed your previous computer, which is no longer with us. You did the tall monitor.
Yes, that monitor is no longer with us as well.
Sorry, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Because I do the wide monitor for gaming.
And I also had one of those.
Oh, God damn. We're going to be doing that a lot. Sorry, all those cool tech
Can I
things.
get another shoot? Non-alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
I need to kill the pain with 0.01%.
He needs to get a buzz. With
Yeah,
some,
like, I might have to chug 12 of these bitches to get something going on.
I got some rubbing
Thank you.
alcohol in the room.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever it takes. Dude, hydrogen peroxide. Let's do a little. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Tide Pods. Let's fucking go.
Oh, God. That'd be amazing. They would sponsored by Tide.
Yeah. No,
Oh, my God. Anyway.
it would be a really funny, if you just made like a fake Tide Pod for like.
Ravers.
No. Just like you made a fake Tide Pod candy that you give out on like Halloween.
So the parents are like, someone gave my kid a Tide Pod. And you're like, fucking got you.
Got you.
It's nerds. Yeah.
Really delicious.
It's nerds.
Someone should do that.
I mean, someone probably
No, because then look at them mixed up.
This is the problem. That's why.
The Tide Pod can't taste like the other one.
But it's not about tasting. It's about trying.
I don't know. Anyway, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, don't listen
please,
to Uncle Kevin.
I've already had a second.
Yeah, he's had too many non-alcoholic beers. I totally would.
Can I put this here? Is it okay?
Oh yes, on my couch.
I guess we'll.
I totally would rock that laptop.
Yeah.
But so that was the question. What's the benefit of the tall screen?
It's called screen real estate, which gives you more ability to browse and check
You
email.
can browse and
Yes,
email more.
yes.
Got it. I get
Did
that.
you really ask that question?
Well, because I never understood it because I was like, I don't understand the like
why
tall.
this way versus this way?
Yeah, because I have an
Okay.
ultra wide and it's great.
So I did have that. You pointed out. You had a great point. I had this external monitor that if you came to my house, it looks kind of weird because it is that aspect ratio of that taller screen.
Yeah.
And for me, you can just get more of a web page on there. So it's kind of like why do we need to go wide on screens if you really think about it? I think gaming is probably better like
Yeah,
that.
because it's more of a
Left or right.
peripheral vision.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you go taller, I was just dragging full windows and then like you just see 100
So rather than
emails.
scrolling,
Yes,
you're just reading.
Exactly. So I think work-wise, it is a better device browsing modality. Why are we're getting smarter when we're not drunk? I'm like using like
I don't
modality.
know. I don't know why that would happen, Kevin.
It's so
You
funny.
guys have iPads, or you use them as a second monitor?
Yeah,
You do?
I've done that. I got
Like, not often, right?
no, not often. Well, all my iPods are.
Too soon.
It's okay, but I did have that. Yes.
I got an iPad Pro, like one of the biggie ones with the pen.
Yeah. And
It's nice, but I just don't ever have an opportunity to. I sit
this
at my
is
gaming
the
PC.
problem with buying shit.
You have it then. Once you buy it, you have it.
No, I know, but this is why I'm just like so it's funny. Like the natural reaction for me would be, oh, I had X, Y, Z. Go replace those things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because like
Interesting. You're like, if you weren't using
how many
it on a
times did
daily
I use an
basis-
iPad before? Like twice a year.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and I get the OS update. I'm like, ooh, cool. And then I'm like, ooh, maybe this will be my laptop, and it never is.
Yeah, it never is. It's just not a fucking laptop.
I know, but you always.
And I got the
think it is.
keyboard
I got the keyboard
attachment,
too.
and you're just like,
And I'm
why am I here?
And I move the little mouse. I'm like, look how it locks to things. It's
Yeah.
like, whoop, you know, and I'm like,
Look, a pen.
Yeah.
I can write. I hate writing.
I then lose the
fucking
pen.
hate writing.
I know, and then I lose the pen too.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to write. That's why I have a computer.
I know.
My handwriting's horrible. I'm like a doctor.
But you see what I'm saying.
Dude, I love it. I'm in. I
Want to see when this
Lenovo.
launches, but I'll let you continue. I'll check on our expanding laptop.
So thank you for checking on our expanding laptops. So also following on CES, and for us gamers of the group, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090 review, brutally fast, but DLSS 4 is the game changer. I saw the announcements for, first off, we knew that the 5 series or the 50 series graphics cards were going to be coming out from NVIDIA. I don't think anybody understood. NVIDIA has, first off, NVIDIA basically supplies 99% of all the AI chips on the planet, right? They are like Mr. and Mrs. AI. And they've sort of put a little bit of AI stuff into their graphics cards before, DLSS is ostensibly sort of machine learning AI, kind of thing.
Accelerators.
Yeah, where basically it kind of interpolates so rather than the graphic card actually generating the pixels or the nanites, I guess now, it ends up sort of interpolating what would be between the two frames.
Oh, are these upscalers or what are these?
Essentially, they're like fancy machine learning upscalers. So that's what DLSS has sort of been in the past. No, I don't think anybody was prepared for what they dropped at CES with the DLSS 4 because it is basically pure AI. What the fuck do they call it? Multi-something?
Multimodal.
No, it's
That's a word, but I just didn't.
It is a word. It is a word. It's fucking goddamn multi-frame generation. So basically, what it's doing is in real time, it is both generating the pixels of the game through the game engine, the way that we traditional graphics cards use. Make the polys, do all the things. But it's also at the same time using these AI tensor cores to create generative AI in inner frames. So they're basically multiplying the frames between the frames that the graphics card is generating to increase the frame rate by supplanting those frames with AI generated frames.
So what does it look like?
It's so fucking smooth.
Ooh.
And it takes you from like 80 frames a second to like 270 frames a second.
Holy shit.
Most of
the human eye can't even perceive that, though.
So this is the thing I don't understand in gaming, because I think it's like 60 frames a second is the human eye's max.
You can feel it.
But you can feel it.
Cinema's based on, we thought
24 frames, yeah.
Max, but then you see 120 frames or more and you're like, oh, this feels different.
Yeah, and when you look, and by the way, 240 is sort of the standard for gaming right now, the 240 hertz. But the thing that's crazy about this whole thing, the 4090 is the like creme de la creme right now that's out. $2,000 for the card. The 5070 is $500.
$400.
$400?
Premium over the 4090.
No, that's different. That's the 5090.
Okay.
The 5070, their low end 50 series card is like $595, I think, something like that. So it's like $600.
Yeah.
It is 30% more performative with DLSS 4 than the 4090.
When did the 4090 come out?
Year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
That makes perfect sense, though. That's kind of a leap.
Dude, but the $500 one.
Oh.
The $500, their lowest one. The lowest end
so in some sense, you just like pretend like this didn't come out and just buy the $500 one.
This is what I'm saying.
So what do you have?
Well, I'm still at the 3080.
Oh, so you could get the $500 one.
That's what I'm saying. You could get the $500 one. But again, the thing is, that's the secret sauce of the DLSS 4, because what happens is the actual raw compute power versus the 4090 is like not, I mean, they're just, the 4090 is a beast.
Right.
But it's like, think about it like, a fucking, a diesel engine, right? Like, it's just pure brute force. It's giving you the pixels that you're asking for at the time you're asking for.
Oh, dude, I'm excited because I like to also play around with AI stuff on my computer and run my own localized.
But the 5090 is going to basically be the go-to card for AI locally, because it's got all the AI cores in there.
Yeah.
It's got like, I mean, it's crazy. And it's $1,500. So it's $500 less than the 4090, the 5090, and it's like blowing it out of the water.
I mean, this is a good lineup for pretty much anybody. Like you got great price points here with a lot of performance at each level.
The entry-level gaming card right now in this new generation is going to be absurd I mean, like, it'll blow mine out of the water, and I spent $1,600 on it, 3 years ago when I was building my PC.
So here's the deal. Before I approached this new Zen minimalist world,
which you'll get to.
Which I had committed to building a new PC this year.
Yes, I remember.
Because I wanted to have a proper gaming rig. And so I had already ordered some of the components. I ordered the Ryzen 9800X 3D.
Yep.
This was like 2 days before my house burned down. I ordered it.
Oh, dude.
But I'm grandfathered in.
Hey.
You know what? So
happen.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
But I got the case. Looks dope.
The case is dope.
We gotta show the video of the case. The case is.
I honestly was looking at that case.
Were you really?
Yeah.
So good with the wood. Looks good.
So great.
Anyway, I wanted to build a proper gamer because I haven't in so long. And also, I told my oldest Zelda she's getting into computers now, where she's like, she just got her first keyboard. And so she's like pretty stoked. And I didn't get her the Apple one. I got the cheap one. Just I'm like, if you learn how to type, I'll get you the one the built-in one. And so she's like really excited about it. So I'm excited. I showed her the computer case and I'm like, it's empty, but we're gonna put a computer in here.
That's so cool.
And she's like, oh.
By the way, they made it when I built mine. Like I said, it was about 3 years ago. It had been a while since I had built a PC from scratch. They've really made it very easy. It's still technically, the same stuff. Like it still feels like it used to feel.
Yeah.
But it's less, like I remember those days when you would find a 12K mouse driver or like a 7K mouse driver for your PC that you could then load, and the game would load because there wasn't enough load RAM for the thing, so you had to get smaller.
Yeah.
That stuff is always just it's fucking. We grew up at the perfect time, honestly, for technology, because it really felt like we got the best of both worlds. We got that world where you had to think about what it is that you wanted to do to entertain yourself.
Right.
But then now we're at the point where we have all the entertainment we could ever want at our fingertips. We just really are bridging the gap.
Dude, the number one question my kids ask me is, what do I do? When they don't have something to do, they're like, what do I do? And
My buddy was telling me the same fucking thing.
Don't do anything.
Sit and think about your life, child.
Yeah. What do I do? Do you get that a lot now? What do I do?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got flute, and he goes to instruments now, which is great. So there is a distraction that is not social media for him.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting thing to I don't remember as a kid ever trying to figure out what to do.
No, because we just went in the backyard and made dirt clods and threw them at people and shit.
Yeah.
You
just went outside. That was the thing. What do I do? Go the fuck outside.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I would just go outside and just destroy anthills and shit.
Yeah. Play G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
Dumbing it down, it's being okay with being bored, not needing the constant input of stimulation.
Yeah, that constant stimulation is something that...
Although I've been playing Roblox with my kids.
Oh, yeah?
It's fun.
Dude, games are fun.
They're silly little games, but they're fun. And they love it when dad's playing with them.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they think it's the coolest thing. But
oh, my God, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, so new graphics cards.
Yeah,
very excited. If you will have one in your new PC. I'm sure I'll be getting one soon.
I'm very excited. Okay, moving on to new announcements around, but not presented at CES. There is a new Chinese sex bot with integrated AI. So that is Japanese.
I don't know what the Chinese good.
So the Chinese sex bot mega producer says its next generation AI bots are on the way. Future versions of the dolls will be able to perform housework. They could one day compete with Tesla's humanoid robots.
In a fight? In some sort of competition reality show or something?
But these are from the ground up meant to be
sexy
bots. And so
is this sort of like that company that makes, what is it, Real Dolls? They've been talking about putting AI in their dolls at some point. I mean, I know they're working on it, but not because I'm subscribed to any newsletters that they submit, but I've been told that they're working on it. By others.
I don't know how this applies to that fetish, but this is more integrating a lot of the so the large. We talked about this before, where these LLMs that are having these conversations, if you take off the guardrails, they get really nasty really fast.
That's amazing.
And so,
well, also if they're making their own LLM, they're choosing what the guardrails are.
Exactly.
So those guardrails for the sex bot, I'm sure, are not as honed as guardrails for Claude.
Dude, we will have to buy one of these and have it be guest on the show.
Oh my God! That's what we have to do. We have to interview a Chinese sex bot.
During live Diggnation or something?
That would be fucking amazing. By the way, on
I
their
already
website,
know what they're gonna say because I've been there with them.
No, you got to do
by
this.
accident.
So here, find because I remember I looked at this article before. Find the company name. I think it's like Sky something.
Well, they're 88 pounds.
Yeah, well,
It's kind of perfect.
I'm just
kidding.
I love that you have a decision.
I meant for portability.
Go up. Oh, there it is. I watched this because I was like, oh, they're good. Just putting AI. Okay, cool. And then I was like, this voice killed me. This is the moaning function.
What?
Just wait.
Whoa.
Just wait.
It looks really real.
Sorry, you are back now. I have been waiting for you for such a long time. I miss you so
That's the
much.
English version. So when you squeeze different areas, it moans.
Oh my god.
But the English voice, I was like, just hire someone from the US.
No. It's
I
like,
know.
the Me Love You Long Time voice is not
Exactly.
the one
It's not.
you want.
And she goes back to English
First of
again.
all, he's creepy as fuck.
Well, I mean, he works at a Chinese sex doll factory. I mean, let's-
Is he holding the voice box?
yeah, he's holding the voice box. Here we go. Oh, I thought she talked again.
I will miss you so much.
I was like, just hire an actress from the U.S. Hire a porn actress for the U.S. Just
Yeah,
how
you can go on
crazy.
Fiverr.
By the way,
and get a great voice
by the
for
way-
about like $30.
The end of that video just said "serving mankind." That's how they ended the video.
Yeah, you are.
Serving mankind.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yes, when this company has AI chat integration, we would love to have the first AI sex bot on our show just to see how she feels about her new line of
Job, yeah. You know what? If it removes sex workers from the street and it makes it, kind of like, less STDs and things like.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of upside. I mean, we talked about this when we first were talking about it, which is like there are people who have hard time making human connections with the opposite sex. And I think there is a situation where things like this could be very therapeutic for certain people. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question.
Oh yeah, all right.
20 years from now, we're still alive, probably.
God willing.
And at that point, these bots will be walking in this room.
Yes.
And just being like, what's up, guys? Diggnation time. And like have a seat and crack a beer.
Okay. I'd be like, first off, you're wasting beer. that is not for you.
Well, probably for you, but like,
yeah.
but it's like,
opening it for me, I'd be like, oh, thank you.
exactly. But I'm just saying, like, if it is that mobile and natural,
Yeah.
where you're like, this is a human, would you buy one as just like a fun companion to hang with?
I think there will be a time in which, yes, I would want to purchase not a sex bot per se.
What if they had a sexy bot mode?
I mean, I'm sure they would all come with that, just as standard
just-
operating procedure.
Jailbreak.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a jailbreak. It'd be like a
I mean, look, if I had
after hours.
Look, well, first off, then there would be the conversation with my wife.
That's what I was going to get into.
Do we have hunky guy? Do we have the one
fuck
from?
that.
It's just as likely that we would hire the guy from Outlander than we would, the Chinese chick.
Wait, who's the guy? My wife likes that one dude, the Jason Momoa.
Wow, interesting.
Wait, is that the big buff dude?
Yeah, yeah,
The
with the long hair.
stallion that mounted the earth on
The stallion that mounted the. Oh yeah, from
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so if I'm laying in bed and
he comes in,
fucking
he's like,
comes in,
"Kevin,
he's like,
You know you have to take your meds before you sleep, right? Yes, Jason Momoa. All right. I'll be back downstairs with Dari.
what if he's like, scoot over? Yeah, let me get in the middle there. I just like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know what I mean?
That would be amazing. You'd be Jason Momoa.
But I would be scared.
So here's the thing, because again, if let's say it is just like the Amazon Alexa, because that's where my brain was going. Like at a certain point, it will be the same as an Alexa or a Roomba. Everybody will just be like, "Oh, you don't have a Roomba?"
Oh, I
Like,
see.
It's just everybody will have them again without
Yeah.
the sex stuff, just as like person that does
They're
they
gonna
cook,
have
they
the
clean
sex
thing.
stuff
Of
built
course they are.
in.
But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna go buy an Alexa or
Yeah.
a Roomba, and it's gonna have either tits or a dick, you're gonna have to have the conversation with your wife of, hey, I was thinking we should get a Roomba because everybody gets a Roomba. Okay. Are we getting tits? Or are we getting a dick?
Yeah, but you know what? It'll be like when you hire a nanny. Well, they'll be like, get the ugly one.
Well, first off, get the ugly.
That's what
That would be amazing. All of a sudden,
telling you.
Mrs. Doubtfire comes in.
Listen,
and
I'm
you're like,
telling you.
what the fuck?
I'm telling you now, we might have to bleep some of this, but this is real talk. Anytime you're hiring a nanny with like a significant other, they always want a less attractive nanny in the house
I mean,
than like a hot nanny.
I get, well, again, because it's like, let's say it's the opposite, and you're like
Right.
hiring a home masseuse.
But that's what I'm saying.
You'd be like, you're going to hire the guy that looks like Willem Dafoe, please.
Yeah, so you're probably going to get the Mrs. Doubtfire version.
Yeah, but see, this is the
But then
thing.
you could be into that.
Well, I'm just saying, you can go break a lot of things. Plus, replaceable faces. I mean, come on. Swappable faces.
It just sounds
You'll
like...
just have a drawer that'll have like the slimmer cut for the evenings.
But then you gotta like refill it with stuff. I don't want to. It sounds horrible.
I mean, that didn't seem like it would be enough for me to be like, oh, hey, put your clothes back on, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I just don't. I have to imagine though.
There's going to be a world where 1,000% we are going to be. I mean, it's happening too fast. Like I think there's a world in which there will be humanoid robots that are coming in and doing menial tasks.
We watched Blade Runner. We know how this ends.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Skin jobs.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get there real quick.
Real quick.
I think it'll be like 10 years, dude.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. The way it's happening, and I mean, one of the other stories, which we'll jump into the story right now because it has a little bit, a lot to do with AI. What Lucid's partnership with SoundHound means for Lucid stock. So, you know Lucid.
Yeah, I thought they were out of business.
No. That's, what was the one that just went out of business?
Lucid hasn't been doing that well.
No, Lucid's okay.
Are they doing
Lucid's doing okay. It was the Oceana. What was that? What company was that? Not Polestar. Fuck. What's the Oceana?
I don't know.
Well, you're at Google, that's why I asked.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Lucid's stock price.
Yeah. Anyway, Fisker.
Fisker. That's right.
That went out of business.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone. No, so Lucid make really good cars, really high range, luxury. I mean, very luxury cars.
Yeah.
But what they did was they had Amazon Alexa in their cars. They've now switched out from Amazon Alexa to SoundHound AI that does basically a ChatGPT type LLM voice to text AI assistant. So to me, it's the first car that I know of that's actually adopting an AI voice assistant as their voice commanding system for their car. Because if you think about it, like, well, you have a BMW, right? It's got voice assist.
Yeah.
When was the last time you fucking hit the voice assist button?
About 10 minutes ago.
Really? Do you use it?
Because I have Siri now is built into it.
See, this is the thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about how Siri is like wah wah versus ChatGPT or some of the other LLMs. So to think about not having Siri built into your car, but having a ChatGPT type.
Right. Oh,
assistant.
it's so much better. Yeah.
But then it brings up the question, I'm not concerned that Siri is going to lock my car, start the engine, turn on the AC weird. Should I be worried that maybe ChatGPT or something like an AI assistant would go off the rails a little bit?
It's firewalled away from the major components of the car.
I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But like, I would ask it to turn up the temperature.
Yeah, that's true.
So that means it's got access to the temperature.
Yeah, but worst case, you're like, it's a lot.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's like it's gonna
You're like, hey, Lucid, what the fuck are you doing? It's so hot.
It's like, you like it hot.
I'd be like, first off, that's for the sex bot at home, not for my car.
Exactly.
You don't have the ports.
Yet.
But it's interesting to me because, again, I mean, I may be wrong, but this is the first time I've heard of a car manufacturer baking in an LLM voice assistant.
Yeah.
Using AI, not just sort of the, whatever the quote unquote secret sauce is of Alexa or Siri.
I mean, you have to imagine, given Elon with XAI and Tesla, that's like got to be less than a year out.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, I think this is going to be the first thing to fall, but it also just kind of gets to that place of like, we talk about this when we talked about Siri and Apple Intelligence, which is like, okay, but it's still not
It's
the
not
thing
that
that we want.
It still keeps telling me like, well, I found a result for you once in a while.
Well, now it's like, I don't know. Do you want me to talk to ChatGPT? And I was like, "What, dude? Why aren't you just ChatGPT?"
Yeah, well, they just, I don't know if you saw this, but even today they made an announcement that there's this fixer inside of Apple. It's like this one woman that basically they just like assigned to like shit that's broken, and they just moved her over to
Apple
Intelligence.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
because they were all fucking in on it. Like you can't even. No ad it happens doesn't just mention Apple Intelligence.
yeah, but they kind of see they were in a really tough position because they were clearly they missed it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so they're just playing catch up. And I mean, Apple will get there.
Yeah, of course.
It's just going to be probably another 3 years until they have
Usually
something
Apple
interesting.
waits until they can do it right. Until they can do it like Apple. They don't get into the business. They let Chromecast exist before they're like, okay, here's an Apple TV.
Right,
And
but everybody else is doing it so awesomely.
and it's just so fast. I think it's just
It's
because
so fast.
AI is just so fast.
Exactly. They're not used to that. They're used to seeing a shitty product come out and being like, we can do this better.
Yeah.
Spending 3 to 4 years of doing it better and then launching it and we're like, wow, it's an order of magnitude better than what you're done.
Yeah.
And because, and it's funny, when I was talking to Reed on the podcast about this, he was mentioning like AI is very much constant deployment, iterative development, right? Like they're leapfrogging each other every other week. So it's not like we're sitting here and like, oh, product comes out, cool. We wait for a few years, and the next thing is like,
few years.
you can't even slow down. You can't take your foot off the gas right now.
No. I mean, honestly, it's like every week there's something. Every day there's something.
Oh, dude, have you played with the freaking?
Operator?
Yeah, have you played with it?
No, not yet. We were just talking about it. We were like, I wonder if Kevin's played with it.
Let me see. I do have a pro
I see
count.
Operator.
Yeah, I have it. Dude, the pro count.
It'd be amazing if it's like, we're wiping your hard drive. It's like, oh,
Yeah, here it is. Get started. Operator, some friends of mine were using it today, and they sent me videos, and it's like, holy shit.
So this is the thing where it basically can do things on your computer for you, right?
Yes.
We talked about, what was that?
No,
was doing- was
Claude
it
did
Claude?
one. Claude did one, yeah.
But it's not.
This is supposed to be way better than Claude's. Although I will say, I've been using Claude's models the other day for a few other things, and God, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I dumped an American Express, year-long of American Express transaction spreadsheet into it. I was like, find me everything that I can claim is reimbursable via, that will be covered by this policy. It was like, and like freaking writing code and spitting me back a spreadsheet. I was like, holy shit. And all the others failed at it. It was, I was like, that's the weird thing about this AI world. It's like some of them, it's funny, Jason Calacanis was just talking about this where he was saying that like the $20 model from Gemini, we kind of have to have all these subscriptions out because you have to know where, you have to be smart enough now, sadly, still in these days, to know I have this task. This is the model I need to go apply to.
Who's going to make it the best, yeah.
And so this deep research right here, 1.5 from Gemini is apparently amazing. So what it does is it starts and says, okay, I want to I want to remodel my kitchen. How do I go about doing that, right? Which is what you're doing.
Yeah, now I'm like gonna ask.
But typically Claude would just, or any of these would just come in and be like, well, typically remodel is like blah blah blah. Yeah. And so what it can do is you can say like, I want to remodel. I live in this side of LA. Here are the shortages. Like it will break these into subcomponents and then spits off separate AIs to go and do their own independent research, including searching the web. And then this model brings it all together and gives you like this like Forrester research level report, like analysts had worked on it for days.
Wow.
Back to you. And that's kind of what, have you seen 4.0 actually working? So this is the $200 model right here per month one, where you say, have you seen the difference between?
No.
So, so basically you can choose, O1 Pro mode.
Oh, yeah.
And
I remember
if you see how it kind of slowly does the thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were talking about this on the previous show where like some of these models now are going to be about sending a job and like coming back in a week and getting like the full on answers. It's crazy.
Well, this is the one where there was one that you were talking about that like was like $1,000 a question or something like that. Like
that's where some of them are going, which is
so crazy.
Depending on how deep you want to go.
I was going to say, and if the question is that valuable to have a good answer, there are worlds in which that's what you're going to end up doing. You know what I mean? Which is fucking crazy to me. I can't even believe it.
So nuts. Anyway,
well, you have to tell me how Operator goes. Anyway, so that's Lucid.
Yeah, what we're gonna see this is gonna be a domino thing, right? Like there's gonna be
all of them. I mean, they're and like at CES, there's so many cars that got shown. There was the Sony one.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. That's one of my stories.
Well, let's bring it up.
All right, next story of the day. So obviously we don't get into a lot of political stuff on the show here, but I will say it's been a whirlwind of shit going on, obviously in the United States. Trump took office. SEC is kind of under new guidance to make a pro-crypto America, which I think in many ways is digital first. I mean, it's crypto.
We knew. I mean, that was when we made the sort of tongue-in-cheek jump about the fact that after the election, the Bitcoin. I mean, it's still Bitcoin's at like 105K.
Yeah.
I think a coin, which is crazy that it's actually not only hit 100, but it's staying at 100 and it's staying over 100. So what's the SEC change that happened?
So they revoked this regulation that was in place where it was added in 2022 that forced banks to treat crypto, and I don't know if it's just BTC or not. Oh yeah, it's crypto and other tokens as a liability on their balance sheets versus just an asset. On their balance sheets, like any other currency would be.
Interesting. So I get why that may have been in place because of the volatility of it, but then again, if you're holding, Venezuelan dollars, you know what I mean? Or like, dollars or not dollars, but, whatever the currency is of other countries that are just as volatile as crypto, it's interesting that they would have been handcuffed into having to say that this was actually a liability instead of it being an asset, which it is.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is like this unlocks banks now to hold crypto. Like there is a world where you say and this is old school combined with new school, but you walk into a bank, you give them $500 in cash and say, deposit this in my account as Bitcoin. And it just like happens.
I mean, honestly, that's what Coinbase sort of did, right? Was to step up and actually, I think the interview was on Foundation back in the day. When the guy who founded Coinbase was on and talking about how he was like, the goal is that your mom could go and get Bitcoin without having to be like knowledgeable about it and hold it.
Right.
And so to be able to like walk into a Wells Fargo and go, hey, I want to get into crypto. Here's, take 0.5% of my holdings and put it into BTC so I can see some stuff, not having to invest it into like one of the ETFs or anything.
Right.
That would be
it is really interesting because there's been these little hacks and workarounds where you can say like, okay, I want to get paid into BTC, and there's been these little third parties where you can direct deposit your money in there, and then they convert it and they do a buy for you, and it's like there's a world where it's a lot more seamless than that, right? It's not like you could log in a future world into a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or one of the Chase and see, oh, here's my BTC account.
Yeah.
Just like a standard checking account.
Yeah.
And it's just, I hold my Bitcoin there and I can write a check and it will just like
Dude, being able to write a check off your Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing. I mean, this is the stuff
nobody used to do that. It's so weird. It's like old school.
No, but people would be like, I don't want Bitcoin, I want a check. And so you write a check, and when they cash the check, they immediately sell Bitcoin and...
No, they would receive Bitcoin back.
No, not them, not the check owner. Like, let's say I hire a plumber, and he's like, I want a check, and all my holdings are in BTC, and I write a Wells Fargo check.
Right.
The moment that person cashes that check,
it
Wells Fargo sells and sends.
Exactly.
That...
Well, what if you could write in Bitcoin? If my plumber's like, hey, it'll be 0.07 sats. Like, everybody...
Yeah, because the guy's like, oh man, this dishwasher's fucked. I mean, we're talking half a sat.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a quarter sat if you're lucky. If I have the part of my truck, it's only a quarter sat. But otherwise, Jesus Christ.
Sats are way cheap, but yeah.
Sats are way cheap.
You'd be like, this is a tenth of a Bitcoin right here.
Oh, God, you bought a Samsung? Fuck. I might be a whole Bitcoin. Exactly. I got to route the whole plummet through the floor.
I'm telling you, man.
But that's the thing that would, honestly, that's the thing that most of the people who are like the true believers of Bitcoin as a currency that could be used for goods and services, that's the last bastion of the stepping point. I mean, Cash App has it, like all these places where you can kind of do it, but you're sort of half doing it, as you said. It's not institutionalized.
Well, I just think that digital currencies like to act. That's it. It shouldn't even be a question mark anymore whether that's the future.
Our dollars are digital currencies.
They are digital already.
I mean, when was the last time you like took money out to hand somebody?
Yeah, I mean that's
maybe
called a run on the
something
bank,
like
which would never work.
Right.
If everyone went to Wells Fargo right now to go get their money out, they don't have the money.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally digital zeros and ones, right?
They're like, we'll send it to wherever you'd like us to send it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So in some sense, it's just kind of like really making it on the blockchain, which is great. So we can actually have a ledger of that stuff. So we can see more transparency.
Yeah.
But I think if Trump, the thing where I think Bitcoin really flies is if Trump actually decides to hold it at the
US
global reserves level.
Yeah.
Because our reserves are made up of a bunch of different stuff. And obviously we have our own dollar and there's gold and a bunch of stuff. But they were talking about taking all the seized Bitcoins that America has, which is there's a decent sum, and just putting that into the global reserve as like a way to hedge. It's brilliant, dude. It's brilliant.
Well, what else are they doing with it? Like, if they have this asset, I mean, are they selling it off, like auctioning it, like they would a boat? You know what I mean? Or
they auction it off.
Interesting.
That's what they've done to date.
Interesting. So literally just giving them the right to be like, hold it as a currency, like the cash that they seize, rather than just liquidating it and turning it into cash, putting the cash in the reserve.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So
That's interesting.
that's
It's gonna be an interesting.
for crypto, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
The next 4 years are gonna probably cement crypto
craze.
into a way that it can't be uncemented. Meaning, like,
Interesting.
if we get enough mass adoption and integration of crypto into all the things that we do over the next 4 years, like there's. No, I don't think there's any going back now, but like it's. I think net it's a good thing. Obviously, with any currency,
Of course.
there is
Volatility.
volatility, but also I just hate this argument where they're like, well, money laundering and all that, and it's digital, all that shit. I'm like, I don't go. You can't go pay for a prostitute in Bitcoin. Like I can't go to my drug dealer on the corner and like pay him Bitcoin. It's like maybe I can now, but like I'm just saying like it's way easier. All
Cash
said and done.
Cash is cash.
Cash is cash. It's not
untraceable for the
exactly.
most part.
Largely untraceable.
Yeah.
Like if anything, Bitcoin is like a public ledger.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be way easier to account for eventually with AI and everything else going on to analyze where things are moving.
I mean, I think it's just, it's the old boogeyman tactic of it's like, crypto, it's the dark web. You can buy children on the dark web with crypto.
That you got
and it's
pardoned.
like, oh my God. Well, there's lots of crazy shit going on.
I just paid for four questionable things yesterday. Setting up a new Plex server, news groups, pirating, and a lot of the indexes are still like, here's a QR code, send me Doge. I was like,
Doge?
Funny.
They wanted Doge, yeah.
Doge, that's so weird.
People want a Doge.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doge.
What do you think about the Trump coin and the Melania coin?
Oh God.
Did you buy any?
Let's not even talk.
Did you buy any?
Of course not. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't buy any either.
All right, let's talk about a cucumber shortage real
Cucumbers.
quick, and then we'll be done. Cucumber shortages in Iceland blamed on TikTok craze. The first time we have experienced something like this is said by one of the leaders of Iceland. Have you guys seen these? First off, cucumbers are amazing. Can we just talk about that?
I love cucumbers.
Mandolining a cucumber and then putting some salt and pepper, oil and vinegar in it.
What is a mandolin?
Oh, it's like a slicer. It's like, I have a Japanese mandolin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like the vinegar ones where they make them a little vinegary.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
The kimchi, the radishes and the cucumber kimchis, my favorite kind of kimchi.
Yeah.
Tahini, I put tahini on mine.
Ooh, tahini.
I like.
Cucumbers are great.
Cucumbers are great. By the way, you just fucking slice up a cucumber, put it in a thing, salt, pepper, oil, vinegar, feta. Your gravy.
Yeah.
Avocado. It's fucking great. It's like the easiest salad to make. So TikTok had exploded with, there's this one specific Canadian TikToker who basically was like, everybody should just eat a whole cucumber. And so he basically does these like very sort of methodical, cool flavor combinations. And he makes these cucumber salads basically, and then eats them throughout the day. It exploded. Well, exploded so much so that there's actually now a cucumber shortage in Iceland because not many people were eating cucumbers before, so they were bringing in the appropriate amount of cucumbers to Iceland, and now there's actually a shortage going on.
Do they grow cucumbers in Iceland?
I think they might. I don't know if it says that they have to do them. It was more about why there's a shortage, less about where they come from. Yeah. But it's very interesting because I have seen this guy's TikToks and I have done them. Because again,
you have?
Oh, of course, because it's great. Because he does all these different. So it looks like they do farm them.
Yeah, in greenhouses it says.
Yeah, because it says that there's the horticulturalist sales company SFG, Iceland's Farmers Association, told the BBC that the shortage of the vegetables and that the farmers were unable to keep up with the spiraling demand for cucumbers. So they probably have to bring cucumbers in. And by the way, you're in Iceland, like shit's expensive, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? But it's crazy to me that cucumbers, I guess, wasn't that big of a thing. And now because of this TikTok sort of viral rage of, and by the way, yes to viral rage of healthy food choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like beer bongs, you know what I mean, have gone crazy. It's literally eating healthy
Tide
cucumbers.
Pods.
Or Tide Pods.
Yeah.
It's eating cucumbers. So there is a downside to successful TikTok culinary expertise.
I think what do you think about TikTok sticking around now too? Are you happy?
I mean, to be honest, I think I realized that I was into not doom scrolling in the way of like doom scrolling. I've blown a lot of time just sitting. Like I'll get my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll open like Instagram Reels or TikTok and I'll just sit and all of a sudden I look up and it's like, oh, it's been an hour. That's not productive.
Are we old? Because I like Instagram.
Old. Yes, we are old.
I like Instagram more. Am I old because of that?
It's the same.
Is it a generation?
But it's also the same.
But I don't want to
shit.
be the Facebook guy. I hate Facebook. I don't ever use Facebook. I don't post or anything.
Yeah.
That's for old people.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you got TikTok on the youngins. The Instagram's like, we're still kind of in it. And then Facebook's for the olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want, whatever that next jump is, then I'm going to TikTok. Because I need to sit in the center.
The youth.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
You don't need to be there first.
Yeah, I don't need to be first.
No.
That's the thing. That's the big joke about Instagram. And it's true that whatever memes you're seeing there, you're seeing about a month later.
And it's funny because I had TikTok and I deleted it as soon as it was like, I opened it up and it was like, sorry, not in the United States. And I was like, well, okay, fuck it. And I deleted it. So I haven't gotten it back yet because it's still technically illegal. They're trying to work it out.
That's fine now.
No, it's still technically illegal.
They do like, well, we're going to come after you.
No, I'm not worried. I just mean, it's,
Alex is arrested.
like at any moment it could be down again. So I'm like, why am I spending my time here? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it is the same thing. Like I see the same content now, but it is a little bit lagged behind.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
Yeah, mine's working right now.
Yeah, mine would be working if I hadn't deleted it, but you can't download it from the Apple Store. So it's not on the Apple Store. It's
Oh,
not on
really?
the
They
Google
haven't
Play
put it
Store.
back yet? They turned it back on.
They turned it back on. They turned the service back on.
Right. But American companies would be breaking the law. I forget the exact term.
Yeah, I think they have 90 days to figure it out or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're not. Yeah. So bottom line is I can't get it back essentially.
Yeah.
And by the way, they did the same thing as remember Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
When
I
they
love
pulled
Flappy
Flappy Bird, they did the same thing. As soon as the ban happened, people were selling their iPhones that had the TikTok
No
app on it for
way.
like $3,000.
No way.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody was dumb enough to do that, but yeah, it was one of those things. Anyway,
All right.
what shall we call it a day?
Yeah, let's do it. We are very excited to come back in Feb.
Yes.
We'll be having some beverages then.
Yeah. The
and-
beverages, as they say.
And what else is going on? So February for me, we obviously are leading up to our big Diggnation Live.
Yep, March.
Which is in
8th.
March. So please go lock that down. Diggnation.show.
Yep.
And the top header there, unless you have ad blocked or not, which I don't think, no, it doesn't get blocked. It says Diggnation Live 2025. Get your tickets. And yeah, we will see you there. That is going to be a blast. Well, there'll be a couple more episodes out before we do that one.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I think there's a slight chance that next time we may be coming to you from a new studio.
Oh, yes.
Potentially. We've been working on a new home, which, by the way, we were working on before Kevin's house actually got hit. We were like, let's find a place.
Yeah.
So that could be fun. I mean, will be fun, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. If not, we'll be right back.
I think we're going to do like a proper, like, fun setup, right?
Yeah.
Like something cool.
Oh, yeah. We got to get stuff, like bring stuff in and buy stuff that's like meaningful for us. You know what I mean?
No,
like I was thinking about like
in the comments.
Yeah.
What would you put in?
What would you have in a Diggnation studio? Maybe some possum stew in the back.
I was thinking like if we're gonna do like a brick facade in the back, like Mario Brothers style bricks or something.
That'd be fun. Yeah, a couple.
I was thinking 90s stand-up brick.
90s stand-up brick.
Yeah, amazing. Like, but something we need like. It needs to be like a set, but something where we would also actually hang out there.
Yeah,
so it doesn't
100%.
feel like it's just like manufactured kind of situation.
Yeah. Mini fridge, but like also a wine fridge.
Yes, wine fridge.
Yeah, I want my wine.
I lost so much good wine.
I know,
lost
dude,
a lot of
don't
good
even-
wine.
I can't.
Okay.
I know Daria was the one when we were on the phone, and she was like, "The whiskeys."
Oh God.
I can't even. I thought about getting you like a really nice bottle of Japanese whiskey, and then I was like, I can't. The amount of whiskey that was gone, I can't even. I couldn't even.
No, I'm good. I'm like I'm really all about like just really kind of keeping it lean right now.
I love it, dude. I love it. Take the reset, man.
Honestly, like one of the things I told Daria, and we could wrap it up, but I one of the things I said is like the next 6 months, the wisest thing to do is like nothing actually. It's like don't make any big decisions. Don't do it. Because it was like, oh, where do we live? Like the kids, or you pull them out of school because a bunch of families are bailing and going to different schools because the kids' school burned down. And it's like, so it's just like one day at a time.
I love it. I think that's really smart. To just go, let's just chill, have good times, enjoy our company.
Totally.
And
celebrate life at the Diggnation Live.
Yeah!
Big announcements. All right.
That is it for this week's edition of Diggnation. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Kevin Rose. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hey, grazie mille.